An email from the Office of Personnel Management, and apparently prompted by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is asking federal employees to justify what they do. It asks staffers to reply with 5 bullets of what they accomplished last week. The deadline is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Monday. Musk claims a failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. President Trump was asked what he thought about the email earlier Monday.
I thought it was great. By asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired.
But the emails generated a fair amount of confusion. Some agencies like the Pentagon and State Department have told employees to disregard the message. And 2 officials say the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, is now saying it's up to each entity to determine how they want to handle the directive. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us now. So, Major, President Trump says he approves of what Musk is doing. Some agencies, though, were telling their employees to ignore the email. What does this say about the authority of Elon Musk? And does it suggest to you a potential power struggle brewing between Musk and some of the president's top picks?
I wouldn't say necessarily, Lindsay, it's a power struggle. What the administration knows is if these changes to the composition of the federal workforce are going to be put through and legally binding, they must be put through by the Senate-confirmed head of that agency. Elon Musk, if he does it all by himself, and the paper trail shows it's only through his authority as a special assistant to the president, it's on much shakier legal ground. So this is sort of deferring to the proper order of things if, in fact, the head of the State Department, the head of the Interior Department, and the cabinet agencies wants to restructure their workforce. They have much more legal authority to do that as a Senate-confirmed cabinet secretary than Elon Musk does. But still, there is this sense within the White House that Elon Musk is exercising a lot of authority, saying things on social media that cannot be backed up, that are either not legally valid or politically problematic. But President Trump, so far, doesn't want any space between him and Elon Musk, probably because he wants Elon Musk to get as far as he can, take whatever political backlash comes to him, not necessarily to President Trump, and shrink the size of the federal workforce to the best he can. Everyone within the White House realizes this is a 4, 5, 6-month process at the most, because by then the political backlash is likely to be such that there'll be members of Congress, Republican House members, Republican Senate members, who may say we need to tap the brakes on this, so they want to go as fast as they can and get as much done as they can possibly achieve.
But Musk has stated before President Trump took office he wanted to shift people from what he called low to negative productivity jobs in government to high productivity jobs in the private sector. Now this, what is that doing to the morale within the federal government?
Well, morale within the federal government is very much up for grabs right now. There are those who have already been laid off, who are looking for new futures, new jobs, and explaining to their spouses that the once secure federal job they had no longer exists. If they have spouses or families or any other budgets, they're having to respond on the fly. Not unlike people in the private sector who suddenly receive a layoff notice. And I trust you, there are a lot of people in the Trump world politically who say, hey, the federal government's just living through what people in the private sector have been living through recessions and other layoffs. It's just reality of life. But that said, lots of people don't know if their jobs that they currently possess are going to exist in the future. The Republicans in Congress could be more assertive about things that have already been appropriated, that are on the books, money that's available, that should be spent, and revisit all this in the next budget year. But so far, Republicans are giving the president a lot of latitude. So morale, at best, is jumbled, and in some agencies, very much on the downward trajectory.
Major, by Sunday at midnight, about 4,200 staff for the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, were placed on leave. Another 2,000 will be fired. This after a federal judge Friday allowed the administration to move forward with plans to put USAID. It wants to put USAID under the purview of the State Department. Some of this was to be expected. We've been reporting on this for weeks. Your thoughts?
Executive authority is real, and the president does have these authorities, and he can move things through one process or another to a different agency if that's what he believes is the proper exercise of executive power. And the courts, so far, are willing to let the president exercise that particular latitude. And in the general impression that those in the Trump movement believe that foreign aid is much larger than it actually is and is probably more wasteful than it is efficient, this is not going to create a political blowback. But for those American farmers who provide the grain that is now rotting on docks that won't be sent because USAID can't move it anywhere, or those who are in the field providing medicines or other assistance for those in need, under the rubric of USAID authority, their jobs no longer exist, that aid no longer exists, that American stamped assistance, health care, food, other things, is being peeled back. There are those in the foreign policy community that believe that for more than 60 years, this was something the United States believed was not just a matter of moral imperative, but had national security implications as well. The exercise, if you will, of soft power to orient America's relationship in the third world differently than it was as just a simple superpower. That's now receding, and President Trump wants it to recede as rapidly as possible.
Major Garrett, always providing us with the necessary context. Thank you.